Hey, how's it going, guys? alecandstuff here. So, we're in December now. I know, right? Time flies by. So we're at pretty much the end of the year, and just the other week, a little bit after Pokémon Sun and Moon officially released, I started thinking to myself, I think that was the last major release that I was excited for this year. Which also got me thinking about how great of a year 2016 has been for games in general. Over the past 11 months, there have been a slew of games that I have personally loved, which is kind of why I wanted to take on the challenge of narrowing down all those great experiences and all those awesome titles down to 5. Top 5 games of 2016, which was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So after a lot of debating with myself and narrowing stuff down and gathering my thoughts, I finally came to a conclusion. So, without further delay, here are my top 5 games of 2016. Enjoy. Paper Mario Color Splash is a game that kind of found itself in a strange place. Juxtaposed between Sticker Star and the end of the Wii U's life cycle, there was plenty of reason for fans to be concerned about the game's quality. However, that time of worry has come and gone, and it's now safe to say that Color Splash is a fantastic addition to the series. The game sort of plays like a mix of old and new, building on the foundation of the franchise while also improving on the faults of previous titles. All things considered, Paper Mario Color Splash is a game that I would say would make an excellent addition to any Wii U owner's library.
How'd you get fired and wind up in jail all on your first day, Henry? I thought it'd be a good idea to chuck some Roman candles into a smoldering fire pit. A regular forest burns.
Firewatch is a game that chooses to tell its story through a first-person narrative, meaning a large part of the experience is going to come from the game's atmosphere and dialogue, both of which are simply outstanding. The visual style present throughout is a joy to behold, and the game's writing in terms of story and dialogue comes close to flawless. The two main characters, Henry and Delilah, are some of, if not the most, human characters I've ever seen in a video game. Ranging from lighthearted joking even to moments of vulnerability, each conversation between the two felt real and believable. For years to come, Firewatch will surely serve as a pleasant reminder of what video game storytelling can be capable of in the right hands.
25 years after our world was ripped apart from the inside, we had peace. But then, those we loved were taken.
Mom!
And everything changed.
Somewhat of a return to form for the series, Gears of War 4 is a title that aimed to bring the Gears franchise back from the dead, and it did just that. Mostly matching the tone of the first game, Gears 4 tells a dark and gritty story from the perspective of JD, son of the legendary Marcus Phoenix, that's enjoyable from beginning to end, an experience that's only made better thanks to the game's unique cast of characters. Of course, that's only half of the equation though. Multiplayer is the other major component of Gears 4, and it's honestly the most enjoyable online experience the series has had in years. Featuring a plethora of modes like Horde, King of the Hill, and even Classic Deathmatch, there's bound to be something for everyone. Add on the fact that all of these things can be played through online or local co-op, as well as cross-platform play, Gears of War 4 becomes a solid entry in the franchise and a must-buy for Xbox One and PC owners alike.
Overwatch. Soldiers, scientists, adventurers, oddities. Guardians who secured global peace for a generation. Under its steadfast protection, the world recovered.
Overwatch is Blizzard's first endeavor into the first-person shooter genre and comes in at number 2 on my list with good reason. Perhaps the game's biggest strength comes from a cast of characters that are just as likable as they are diverse, with each hero having their own distinct personality and origin stories that make you grow even more attached to the universe in a way that very few FPS games even come close to achieving. A wide variety of game modes, an incredibly diverse cast of characters, continued support through free content updates and holiday events, as well as the tightest gameplay that I've seen from a shooter in years. There's an insane amount of fun to be had here. The world could always use more heroes, and it's never too late to join Overwatch. taking the first place slot on my list is none other than the recently released Pokémon Sun and Moon. What could best be described as a breath of fresh air for the series, Sun and Moon take the well-established conventions of past entries and throw them to the wayside. It's a huge risk to change the formula as dramatically as Sun and Moon do, and yet the games manage to pull it off pretty much flawlessly. The new region of Alola is the most inspired setting that Pokemon has ever seen. The story and its cast of characters are undeniably engaging from start to finish, and the new Pokemon are cleverly designed around the environments that they inhabit, not to mention the plethora of big and small changes to UI and design. With all of this in mind, it's no wonder to me that Sun and Moon are my favorite games of 2016, serving as the premier titles to hit the 3DS this year and quite possibly the franchise as a whole. Pokémon Sun and Moon are sure to please veterans and newcomers alike. If you've yet to make the journey already, I highly recommend scheduling a vacation to the tropical islands of Alola. And that about wraps up my list. Now, as I said earlier, it was way harder than I thought it was going to be narrowing down all the games that I had listed down to just 5. But those are just my personal picks for this year. What do you think? What are your favorite games from this year? Feel free to let me know down in the comments, as I'd love to discuss that with you guys. I'd love to see what picks you guys come up with from this year, because there was a lot. But yeah, so now normally I would end the video here, but as an added bonus, I've put together a list of honorable mentions, and we're gonna go ahead and roll that footage now. But before I do that, I have to say one thing, and that is, as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!
Do you know how they celebrate off-treatment day, like when kids are done with their treatments? I guess maybe you don't because you're not in the clinic as much as I am, but on someone's last day, they always bring them a cake and they sing Happy Off Therapy Day to you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
Basically, he thinks we should move forward with the radiation, and it kind of freaks me out, but it could be another miracle.
My city will thrive, and we'll use your tombstone for pavement tiles.
One thing I've learned, if you don't draw first, you don't get to draw at all.
When Rapture speaks of you, it says only this: your day is done.